Well, computer amateurs can more easily become cyber criminals due to attack toolkits that anyone can download. Symantec says these attack kits now dominate the threat landscape. Joining us now to explain more about it is Craig Scroggie from Symantec. Craig, welcome.
Morning.
Tell us about these toolkits and who can access them.
Yeah, it's easier to become a cyber criminal today than it ever had before. An attack toolkit is something that somebody can download from the internet and use that to collect personal and financial information on you. So what's happening is that traditional criminals who haven't been able to access the cybercrime world before are now able to get into cybercrime. You don't need to be a computer expert to become a cyber criminal. You really only need a computer and access to the internet to be able to download the tools to enable you to steal people's personal and confidential information.
Even just psychologically, I find this an interesting shift for me. I mean, you've probably been aware of it for some time, but when I think of cyber criminals and the threat of cyber criminals, I'm thinking of discussions we've had in the past of Russian mafia, Italian mafia. They're the ones behind all of this now. It's you were telling me it's kind of bigger than the drug trade, they reckon, around the world now.
Yeah,
and yet we're talking about amateurs, like our next door neighbour.
In Australia last year, the estimate is more than $1 billion for fraud and identity theft. There's a lot of money to be made from cybercrime. Now, given that the way we work and communicate today has changed, more people are bringing mobile devices and iPads, iPhones, tablets into the workplace. More devices are collecting and storing information. That information can be bought and sold in the underground economy. The underground economy is a place where pretty much any information can be traded for a value. Now, your personal information can be sold onto somebody who wants to connect to you through one of the social networks. So social networking is another way that information or personal information is collected on individuals and sold. And
these toolkits, where do these so-called amateurs actually access these toolkits?
Yeah. The underground economy, the place where these illegal tools are bought, sold and traded, they don't necessarily just get traded for money. They could be traded for other toolkits, or they could be traded for bank account numbers or passport details, other things that can be sold or traded.
What do you see as are there different implications to hear of the amateurs on selling these details? And is it for consumers to worry about, or businesses as well?
Yeah. Obviously, one of the most common frauds that we see today is if somebody contacts you on your social networking site, say, I'm stuck overseas, I've lost my passport, I don't have my credit card details, can you please wire me some money, or can you, help me out while I'm here? What happens is your social networking account can be hijacked. Someone can be pretending to be you so that your friends will send money to them. Now, those type of frauds are very difficult to detect, because once you're locked out of your social networking account, it's very difficult to get back in. But the reason, why are so many people in cybercrime? Well, there's a lot of money to be made in cybercrime. It's also very difficult to prosecute cyber criminals because of the cross-border nature of the fraud and the fact that it's globally distributed. Somebody in Russia or China or in the US could be stealing your personal information. They're in another country, it's very hard to track them down.
How much, you talked about, say, social networking sites, and that's accessing individual personal details.
Yep.
How's the threat different businesses then?
You would have seen, obviously, recently with the WikiLeaks example that information can be removed from an organisation and distributed quite easily. And those type of challenges do happen to companies as easily as they happen to individuals. Information can be copied onto USB sticks, things can be emailed out to Gmail accounts and Hotmails. So the control and security of information is quite a significant challenge for organisations today, because they are trying to protect their confidential intellectual property and they're trying to protect their customer records. And we see many examples on a day-to-day basis where businesses are just as easily impacted by data loss, fraud and identity theft, as individuals are.
It just sounds like we're losing the fight, though, doesn't it, in terms of protecting ourselves and businesses protecting themselves? It seems almost unwinnable.
I don't know that we're necessarily losing. I think that because the internet is growing so rapidly, we've got more people buying, shopping and trading online than we've ever had before. When you consider, when you think about how much Christmas trade we saw in retail online. The ease of shopping, the ability to be able to buy not just locally but internationally, to search for prices and unique products. The internet offers an extraordinary amount of flexibility for consumers, but at the same time the global nature of it and the distributed nature means that it also invites many threats from cybercrime as well.
What's the best way people can protect themselves? Is there any new defences?
There are a number of things people can do to have confidence. We want to make sure people are confident when it comes to shopping and trading and sharing social networking stories on the internet. Ensure that you have the most recent operating system, that you have up-to-date security software, and that you update your operating system and security software regularly. One of the things that we see is that with these attack toolkits, anytime a new vulnerability comes out, it is propagated very, very quickly. So the best thing you can do to ensure that you're protected is have the most recent security and operating system software and keep it up to date all the time.
Thank you, Craig. Great to hear from you. Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Craig Scroggie there from Symantec. That's the Tech Report. We'll be back with more news and analysis and markets coming up on Sky News Business.